Winning new clients is one of the most expensive things your business can do, in both time and resources. Compare winning new customers with retaining existing customers, and it's an open goal so many salespeople miss. We spend all this time getting the customer, and then once we've got the contract signed, we relax. Sometimes we get complacent and let the relationship dwindle, only to lose them again. And then we're back to square one, spending all this time and money to either win them back or find a replacement. Hi, I'm Miles, and I'm a sales professional and prospecting coach. And in most of my training, I specialize in helping new and existing salespeople win new business. But here I want to talk about maintaining those all-important relationships and retaining the client. Doing so brings immeasurable value at a relatively low cost and isn't as hard as people think it is. So, in this course, we'll cover the most crucial parts of maintaining a relationship with a client after they've purchased your product or service. Firstly, we'll look at relationship selling. How can we keep them buying? How can we continue to add value? How can we get those all-important referrals? Then we'll look at meeting them and treating them. How can we take them out, buy them gifts, and continue to boost our relationship whilst keeping it professional, honest, and above board? Next, we'll look at automation, making sure we never miss a beat and take as much stress out of the process as possible. And then finally, we'll look at how we can recover when it all goes wrong. It happens. What if you don't deliver on what you said that you would? Or what if a teammate is letting the side down? All with real life examples and some of my own tips and tricks for customer retention. So I can't wait to see you in this course. So why is focusing on maintaining relationships with clients you've already sold to so important? You've done it. You've done what a salesperson is meant to do, and you've successfully sold your product or service to them. So why bother? We've added our value. So now let's just sit back, count our commission, and maybe put a deposit down on that nice new watch that you've got your eye on. But this is where so many people are going wrong. And this is where your competitors are going wrong too. We need to continue adding value. We need to keep responding promptly, remembering key dates, matching solutions to their problems, being inventive with how we show our product's value, and so on. By doing that, we maintain our relationship with our new client and gain a few key advantages. Firstly, the opportunity to both keep selling to them and also to upsell more to them. They've just purchased your product. They clearly have some confidence in you and your value. So, assuming you do deliver on that value, they'll be inclined to buy more. Maybe you sold them the basic package. Why not try and push them at the bigger package now? Maybe it's a service that they'll need more than once. If you did what you said you would and they need it again, why wouldn't they buy it from you again? So remember, it's easy for the client to just buy the same thing again. They don't have to go back to market and look at other suppliers. The best time to show your value is when you're doing the job. And the best time to solidify relationships is when you're there, meeting them and interacting with them, not in a sales situation. The second key advantage is to protect this new customer from your competitors. We don't want our competitors getting stronger. So if we retain customers and stop them going back to market, then our competitors miss out on the sale. So we're protecting our market share and we're denying them the growth opportunity. It's a win-win. Thirdly, we want to help avoid buyer's remorse. This is when a customer gets a feeling of regret after having made a purchase. Buyer's remorse is every new customer's biggest fear. They're terrified that you'll just take their money and leave them with a poor product, meaning they'll have to either confront you about the value or ask for a refund. So part of the initial sales process is assuring them that this won't happen. So make sure you're regularly checking in with them and asking if they're happy, saying things like, "That new car looks great on your drive, doesn't it?" Or "You must be really enjoying your new house with this lovely weather." Or "It sounds like our engineers have solved those issues you were having. I'm assuming there's nothing that they missed." So the fourth, final, and biggest advantage we can gain from maintaining customer relationships is getting referrals. Referrals need no introduction. They're an easy sell and appear out of thin air. So what's not to like? But we won't get referrals if we don't have satisfied customers and good relationships. If you purchase something and you weren't happy with it, are you going to tell your friends and family to buy it too? Or if you had to deal with a salesperson you didn't like, or you did like them and now the relationship has deteriorated, are you really going to connect them with your friends and family? The answer to both is probably no. So don't let that happen to you. If they love the product, they'll already be telling their friends and family about it. And if they really like you, then they'll jump at the opportunity to refer you. So with those aside, let's jump into relationship selling and how we can build our relationship with our clients further than we already have. We've just been through the full sales process with the client. In doing so, you'll have built a bit of a personal relationship with them, and for the most part, you'll have remained professional. Even if it was looking like an easy, winnable opportunity from the beginning, until they've agreed to work with you, you're still a salesperson. And people have a natural aversion to trusting salespeople. I would argue wrongly, but it's understandable. We're financially incentivized to get our way, so there can never be 100% trust. However, now that has changed. The sale has taken place. You've had your commission and the product or service is being delivered. So now their guard should come down. They've accepted you into their circle and made a commitment. Plus, you're no longer financially incentivized to affect their behavior. So now is the best time to develop your personal relationship with them even more, beyond simply knowing what football team they support. We're trying to take this relationship from business associate on good terms to genuine friend and trusted collaborator. So how do we do that? These relationships are best built in person, in a meeting, at lunch, out for a drink, and so on. And we'll come on to that in the next section. But in these meetings, we want to focus on any work-appropriate personal information that you can build a connection on. Hobbies, interests, if they have a family or not, do they have kids? If so, how many and what ages? Do they play sports? And if so, what? What car do they drive? Do they have holidays upcoming? If so, where are they going? Anything that you think you can build a connection on. Consider your hobbies and interests and any connections there. There's no point in building connections on interests that you don't have. These connections must be genuine. These connections will be used for future reference and conversation, booking events they might be interested in, and just retaining a strong reference point with them. If you don't have a meeting soon, or you aren't able to ask about personal interests, luckily, we live in the age of social media, an age where someone's entire persona and personal interests are rapidly accessible from your own pocket. So have a look around on their social media pages and see what they like. Maybe they're following certain groups or accounts that you also follow. Maybe there are pictures of them doing hobbies that you also enjoy. Or maybe they'll be discussing musicians or artists that you also like. This information is things that they have shared and they have allowed people to see through their privacy settings. So use it. But whatever you do, store the information and keep lists of who's into what. It takes the thinking out of the process. It means you never make the mistake of thinking they support a football team that they don't, or getting their wife or husband's name wrong, or thinking that they like hockey when they actually like golf, or thinking they grew up in London when they actually grew up in Cornwall. Whilst making a personal connection is crucial to building a strong and long-term relationship, you must still keep it professional. This is, after all, a professional relationship. It may transcend that, and you'll become closer friends in real life, but at least for now, particularly while you're doing business together, this is a professional relationship. But there's nothing to say you can't use that to further solidify what you have with them and ensure they keep coming back to you. Generally, when people choose someone to do a job, they want them to do the job. Making a friend along the way is simply a bonus, not a requirement. So, by this logic, ensuring your professional relationship is strong before your personal relationship, it's the correct answer. So how can we do that? First, let's ask for feedback. This is on a few things. The experience they had in dealing with your company, the experience they had in dealing with you specifically, and the experience they're having so far with the product or service. Ask for the good as well as the bad. Ask if there's anything they feel you could have done better. And ask if when dealing with competitors, there was anything they did that you don't and they liked. I always like to ask, are you being looked after? Asking these questions give you an opportunity to improve next time and to stomp out any issues they might be having or have had up until this point. This is again eliminating buyer's remorse if there's any there and making sure that they're getting the best service possible. Plus, you might actually be surprised as to what the answer may be. Maybe you'll find out about something that they got really annoyed at that you had no idea about. Or maybe you'll find that they really liked something that you did that you thought nothing of. You don't know until you ask. So second is that now is a good time to get to know the rest of the company. Try and fully understand who is around your primary contact and what their roles are. We've spent the entire sales process focusing on our single contact or anyone else involved in making this one decision. But what about their teammates? What about the other directors in the business? Who runs sales and who runs HR? All of these people are extra touch points, extra relationships, and extra connections to the business. The best analogy I've got for this is if you imagine a cog turning in a machine. If the cog has a single tooth, then the other cog is going to move slowly. Two teeth, and the cog is both stronger and moves the other cog faster. The more teeth you have, the more smoothly the cog turns, and the stronger the connection. So the aim of the game is to have as many teeth on your cog as possible. Whether you're developing your personal or professional relationships with your existing customers, you must be an active listener when engaging with them. This is a sales basic that so many fail on. We, as salespeople, think we need to constantly be pitching, constantly showing value, and constantly telling our customers why they should be buying from us. But that's not the case at all. We should be listening for what their problems are and then providing solutions to those problems. We should be having conversations, not sales pitches. And whilst this was true before we made the sale, it's even more important after we've made the sale. They've heard your pitch, they've sat through your presentation, they've met your colleagues. They're customers now. They've become someone who's put their trust and money with you to solve their problems. And so, if we want to continue solving their problems, and by that I mean selling to them, then we need to listen to how their current problems are changing and how new problems are arising that we might also be able to solve. So how can we do this? Firstly, as I mentioned earlier in the section, ask for feedback. And don't ask for feedback and ignore the bad stuff or things that you've heard before. Listen to what they're saying. And secondly, ask why they feel the way they do. Ask why that piece of feedback is important to them. Ask why that complaint is a problem for them. Ask why they bought from you and not from your competitor. Ask why they're happy or unhappy with your service so far. Knowing this stuff gives you the power to continue to delight, protect your relationship, and as we covered earlier, continue to add value. The final advice for this section is one that brings a triple benefit, and that is by becoming a two-way referrer. This is to refer your customers to your network and your network to your customers. That benefits you as you have a happier customer. It benefits your customer as they'll have met someone who can help them, and it benefits your network as they've met someone who they can help or buy from them. People love being referred to one another. It's a compliment because it means they like you enough and you show enough value that people want to introduce you to their network. You expand your network, you meet new people, you hear new stories, and so on. It's just great for all involved. So consider who you can refer this new client to and vice versa. Customers, suppliers, peers, anyone in your professional or personal network. Is there anyone you know in complementing industries? Do you think anyone in particular might get along just because they have similar personalities? Even consider that if they ask, do you know anybody who can help with X? Will you have a contact on the ready? So not only are you helping your customer and your network, you're solidifying your relationship by doing them a favor. You're making another deposit into the emotional bank account, and they'll be naturally inclined to repay that favor. That repayment will probably be in the form of either referring you to someone in their network or buying more from you, which both sound pretty great to me.